This is the moment I've been waiting for. The 610 Hypernet, full carbon. And as you can see, just from the way I'm handling it, it is super light and super strong. So, here it is. And the nice thing about it, as you can tell, it has foot strap inserts, which kind of separate it from all the Nash hoverboards. So if you want to get locked in, foiling, so you can pump and maybe carve a little bit better, the foot straps definitely help for foil surfing. And you got a back strap here. It's a Tuttle mount, so you're limited to those Tuttle type foils, which are the Go Foil and a couple others you can get adapters for. But it has Tuttle box built in, super flush, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4 fins. So before foiling came to be, this 610 was my favorite board for anything like head high or below. This 610 is just super stable for someone that's 165. Then you add a foil to it, so if you're like 180, 185, you can still ride this comfortably with the foil. So yeah, let's go ahead and I'll show you a couple of things about this board that you may not be used to, and that is these foot strap inserts. So if you've never windsurfed before or kited, you're not going to really know how to put these in. They're going to be a pain, and you don't want to strip these out. So you want to make sure that you do it right, and they're straight down in, and they're locked in pretty tight too. So let's get closer and we can check that out. All right, so the first thing you need is a screwdriver. This is just a little stubby screwdriver that I got on eBay. It's made by Wera, W-E-R-A, and it's a number 3. So that's really important, this number 3, because you don't want to strip the heads on these, and if you got the right size, you're not going to strip it, as long as you're putting enough force going down into the screw head. So inside here, it comes with a leash. I don't know how long they're going to be including leashes with these boards, but if you're lucky, it's going to come with one. All of their foil boards have been coming with them so far, but they're not. I don't think they're supposed to be included, but they are for now. So we got 2 Drake windsurfing straps that will go in the front and the back. I'm just going to put the front strap on for now, just because I haven't ridden this board foiling yet. So just having it locked in kind of gets you to the point where you know exactly where to put that front foot, and that is the most important foot to have exact. So you got to be lined up right on that center line, not to the sides, otherwise you're going to just pretty much fall immediately. So it is nice having that front strap in there. You got a back strap too. I'll probably put that on a little later once I get comfortable with this board. And you got some hardware. You have your 4 fins. These are 4.7s, pretty nice. Hexel fins, so they're flexible but strong. And these guys are 4.5s. So depending on how you like your quad set up, short fins in the front, short fins in the back, it doesn't really matter, just whatever you feel comfortable with. This is the plug. So if you're just going to be surfing, you can put this plug in the bottom, screw it in, and that will leave that gap, that'll close that gap up so you're not getting water in there while you're moving around. So let's go. The first part is going to be installing these. Now they already come with these screws in here. Should you need other ones, you can probably find these at the hardware store. Just make sure they're stainless, but these are definitely all you need. It's 1 screw and a washer style, and it's going to go right in here. Definitely want to place it in the middle. So to do that, it's really hard to get one side in and bend this. So you pretty much want to take this foot strap apart completely so you can apply the correct amount of pressure at the right angle. So the way it comes is it's basically just Velcroed together. So you can easily just take this apart. And now you can put these close as you want, making sure they're straight down. So I'll bring the camera in closer, and I'll probably just pick a couple spots in here to put them in. And depending on how big your feet are, it's going to vary for every individual. But it's centered pretty much exactly according to where the foil placement is. So that's kind of the nice thing. When you get a Starboard, you don't have to mess around with anything. You just put it in there, put your foil in one spot and you just go ride. So I just looked at my 8.2, which I have been riding for a while, and it looks like I had it a little more forward, just to give that front pressure, just a little bit more on the foil, just so I wasn't getting up and cavitating a little too soon. So I think what I'm going to do, 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put in the fourth one here and the top one here. So it's just going to go like this and here, just like that, and then we can put the strap back together and call it done. So another thing you want to make sure you're doing, since it's flat, you want to screw this in straight down into it. So pretty straightforward. You're going to apply some pressure in here and just start screwing. These are basically like a wood screw or a sheet metal screw, and they just go in, and you definitely are going to have to give it some muscle. Only reason I have this stubby is just so I could reach underneath the board and it's not taking up too much room. For this one, you may want to have a full-size screwdriver just because you really got to crank down onto it, and this stubby is a little too stubby. So, and then you want to make sure you're getting down in there, so it's got to be pretty tight. If you see it moving like that, you see this screw head right here, this washer's moving around, you don't want that. You want it in there and seated properly. So stubby is not going to cut it for this. You go get the Dakine larger screw head. Make sure it's a number 3. Boom. All right, number 3's in there. And we're just going to keep cranking down. All right, check that. That's in there. You don't want to over crank it, but once you know that it's in there and it's not moving, that's perfect. So again, it's really important to have this out so you can fold and get it in here and get it to the exact spot. So I'm just gonna have to push this through and find the hole that you want it. I said fourth one, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's this guy here. And it's gonna vary for your size, and for your first time, you may just wanna ride without it just so you can get an idea of where that foot's gonna go, but I'm just gonna go for it right now. And just keep cranking away. Make sure it's going straight into the board and not at an angle, because that can be a problem. There we go. So that's in there. It's locked in. So now you can put this back together. I like to keep it kind of a high arch so I can get in and out pretty easy. And then you just bring this up around, just like so on one side. And then you gotta stretch it out and get it in there. So as long as you can get in and out pretty easy. That might be a little too loose for me, but I'll go ahead and clean it up. Maybe tighten it up just a little bit more. So yes, here we are. We've got the strap on, and I'll leave the back strap off for now. But we're pretty much ready to get going and get this guy in the water, test it out. As you can see, this is a super light board, which is good for foiling. So the lightest, the better. But it still works fine with the Starlight version. We've tried the 7.4 and the 8.0, both great boards in Starlight construction. It's not that much heavier than the carbon, and it's half the price too. So if you want to get in at a decent price, around $1,500–1,600 for a board, That's definitely a good option. That's still $400 cheaper than the Nash board, and it does come with the foot strap. So there is that added bonus. The Nash board is possibly a little lighter, but we'll have to compare that side by side when we unbox a couple of those. But yeah, other than that, it's ready to go. All you need is that front strap in if you want to do some carving and some more pumping. But if you're learning, again, just keep the strap off, find that placement, and it is nice to have these holes there just so you can see it. So you can say, this is where I'm going to put my foot, I'm going to go for it, and you get it right on that spot, and that's going to help you tremendously. If you don't have those holes, it might be a good idea to throw some tape or maybe just like a line of grip tape on there just so you can see it and know exactly where to put your foot, because that's going to help you tremendously. Because if you start out on the wrong foot, more than likely your foil is going to turn to one way or another, or just buck and bronco, you're going to be up in the air going back down. So just make sure you spot it, stick your foot in there, and you just start going. Control that wing and take off and fly down the line.